Hey everyone, and welcome to another Explainer. Today, we are absolutely decoding a major regulatory move that just hit the wires. The headline? NPPA caps retail price of Boehringer Ingelheim's clot-buster Tenecteplase and 38 other drugs. Let's break down exactly what this intervention means for the medical market and, honestly, the broader pharmaceutical landscape.
But before we get deep into the specifics, I want you to consider this. What is the price of a life-saving moment? Seriously, when we're talking about emergency healthcare, the stakes literally couldn't be higher. Every single second counts. Yet operating right alongside those critical life-or-death moments is the stark reality of retail costs. It's this constant kind of pulling tension between the invaluable nature of saving a life and the very real economic mechanics of the pharmaceutical industry.
So let's look at Section 1, the cost of saving lives. We're looking at what happens when advanced, critical emergency treatments slam right into strict government pricing rules. You've got highly advanced clinical solutions on one side and regulatory frameworks on the other. When does a governing body decide to just draw a line in the sand about how much a critical treatment can cost on the open market? Well, that is exactly the dynamic playing out in this update.
Okay, let's dive into Section 2, the clot-buster drug.
The headline here centers on a drug called Tenecteplase. It's a critical clot buster. Basically, when a patient is having a severe cardiovascular event, like a major blockage, this highly specific medication is deployed to physically break that clot apart. It is quite literally a lifesaver in a vial. In those moments, immediate access and availability are absolutely paramount.
And the powerhouse behind this specific treatment is Boehringer Ingelheim. They're the pharmaceutical manufacturer driving the innovation and the production to get this vital tool into emergency rooms all across the globe. They really represent the extensive research, the grueling clinical trials, and the massive manufacturing capabilities required to bring a drug of this caliber to the market.
Which brings us to Section 3, the NPPA steps in.
Enter the NPPA. They are the regulatory authority responsible for capping retail drug prices. Their main function is strict market regulation. So while the pharmaceutical companies are out there driving the science and the supply side, the NPPA steps in to ensure essential medications have a definitive retail price ceiling. They are actively shaping the economic realities for the end consumers.
It's a fascinating dynamic when you lay it out like this. On one side, you have the innovator pushing medical science forward to create these, life-saving miracles. And on the other side, the regulatory body stepping in to cap the resulting retail cost. It's the ultimate balancing act of commerce, innovation, and government regulation, all functioning in real time.
Moving on to the big picture in Section 4, the 38 other drugs.
39. That is the true scale of what just happened. The NPPA didn't just step in to regulate a single clot buster. Well, actually, the action on Tenecteplase was simply the headline grabber for a massive, sweeping move to cap prices across 39 different medications all at once. This drastically alters the pricing structure for a huge swath of the market.
This definitely wasn't just a targeted one-off. While the high-profile clot-buster absolutely takes the spotlight, we see 38 other drugs being subjected to the exact same retail price caps. It really shows just how broad the NPPA's reach is across the pharmaceutical landscape in a single sweep. They're demonstrating a highly systemic approach to market intervention rather than just some isolated adjustment.
So to break it down, the sheer scope of this update is really threefold. It directly targets high-profile emergency drugs like Tenecteplase. It drastically widens the regulatory net by impacting those 38 additional medications. And finally, it focuses strictly on acting as a ceiling for retail pricing, without altering manufacturing operations or prescribing protocols.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, impact on retail prices.
Let's see how this builds step by step from the laboratory directly to the regulator's desk. First, it starts with innovation and production by the manufacturer to create the treatment. Second, the NPPA evaluates the broader medicine market to determine affordability standards. And third, the hammer comes down and the retail price is officially capped for all 39 drugs, finalizing that regulatory intervention.
And honestly, that brings us right back full circle to the news itself. NPPA caps retail price of Boehringer Ingelheim's clot-buster Tenecteplase and 38 other drugs. Behind that one single sentence is a massive shift in market dynamics. Sweeping up dozens of essential medications in a single retail pricing cap signals a highly active, very watchful regulatory environment for pharmaceutical pricing.
As we wrap up today's explainer, it leaves us with one critical question.
Where is the exact balance between pharmaceutical innovation and retail affordability? I mean, it takes incredible resources to develop these life-saving tools, but if the patient can't afford them, the innovation kind of loses its reach, doesn't it? It's a complex intersection of commerce and care, and definitely something we're going to watch closely as this industry continues to evolve. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.